Hey, what's up? Welcome to Adobe's Learn from the Pro series. My name is Kris Truini and I'm a filmmaker that also runs a channel right here on YouTube called Kriscoart, where I share my filmmaking process, some of the projects that I'm excited about, some of the things that I'm learning. And so I want to bring some of those core concepts over onto this series, especially when it comes to editing in Premiere Pro. And in this first video, we're looking at a few tricks when it comes to workflow in Premiere Pro to hopefully speed things up, speed up your process, keep it fun and creative, and allow you to do things a lot quicker. So let's take a look and let's jump in to Premiere.
Okay, so one of the main things to cut stories faster, especially for documentary type stories, interviews, that sort of thing, is to work with stacked timelines or pancake timelines, which is essentially just putting, as the name suggests, two timelines over each other from two different sequences so that you can maybe create a selection of B-roll or good clips in one timeline and then bring those elements in literally by dragging and dropping them from the timeline above to the timeline below.
So let's say I want to add B-roll. Let's say I want to grab these clips and kind of start putting these selects that we've made into our main sequence. So I'm going to show you something really cool. If I grab this sequence without opening it, so just, well, you click and hold, you can see that I can now drag and drop this panel wherever I want. So this could work. It kind of makes sense because we're just essentially dragging some source material into our new timeline. So it kind of could make sense that it's under the source monitor, since this is where you usually go to grab your clips. I personally don't do it this way. I usually have a dual monitor set up where both sequences stay in their own monitor, so I have plenty of room to see what I'm working with. This could work just for this example, and I just want to show you what it does to stack timelines. You can have them on top of each other or like you've seen wherever else. But the nice thing is that I can grab, let's say, this portion of the video, and I can just drag it and drop it into our other sequence. So you can see now we have this new clip. Now, the source monitor is looking at something different because it has its own clip in there. So this could be a nice way of also grabbing things from multiple places. Let's say you have an interview going on and they're providing some of the narration for whatever B-roll you're adding on top. So this could be a great way to, import your main clip in here of the person talking. You can grab different points, different parts of that interview or whatever in here, and then you can have all of your B-roll separate into this other timeline. We can then just go here without losing this from your source monitor and dropping in other things from there. So again, very useful for interviews, that kind of thing. This makes adding B-roll super quick. And yeah, the nice thing is I can go in here. Once I select this other timeline, my program monitor is now showing me whatever's in here. I can make small edits, try out different ideas. You could even have another timeline intermediate to these two where you can kind of drop some things to try them out and kind of make small section edits at a time and then import them in your main piece. So you can stack as many timelines as you want, place them wherever. If you have enough room for it, go for it. I always like seeing things kind of spread out in front of me so that I know what I have. One quick thing that I always do is to double click on the main video where I have most of the clips. So I'm going to make some room from the audio and kind of zoom in here. And the reason why I like to expand this is because then it gives you a small thumbnail that shows you a preview of what that clip contains. And that makes it a bit easier to find what you're looking for. It's kind of having the same idea as with having a bin open to me. It's like you can see the thumbnail, you can kind of get an idea of what the clip is. So by expanding that and having that thumbnail, that helps me a lot.
And that also helps get everything organized so that maybe each scene and each interview has its own sequence that you can grab from, and you can have the best selects and the best moments in there. And that could be a really easy and effective way to build up a timeline, or even to add certain moments, and just keeping this kind of flow speeds things up. But also, like I said, it really helps with kind of media management and organizing all the best moments, especially when you get into longer running, feature films, documentary, and that sort of thing. Now, beyond that point, another way that you can subdivide even further this idea within each sequence is to color code your media. So for example, in the B-roll timeline that we're pulling from, maybe we want to keep all of the material because maybe there could be some interesting moments and some outtakes or certain things that are not super essential, but that could be possibly good to pull from later on, or maybe as options down the road. So I'm a big believer to kind of declutter as much as you can, but then keep as many as the good moments as possible. And that applies beyond just what is essential to the main timeline that you're working on. So there's definitely a lot of freedom and a lot of customization that you can do. And by the way, this goes for stacking timelines as we're seeing here, but you can literally move everything around to fit maybe even your workspace. If you have multiple monitors, you can drag certain things and put them exactly where you want them. And then if you want to make sure that that is how your Premiere Pro fires up all the time, or if it's a certain workspace that you typically work in, you can save that workspace as your own custom workspace, so you don't have to re-drag or remove everything around. And that is really nice. And you can do that in the workspace section, which, as you can see here, by default there's also a lot of preset workspaces that work really well depending on what the intention is. So if you're focusing more on sound, the sound panel and cleaning that sound up is a lot easier in this way. Or if you're doing more color, that makes it easy to just go through your edit and do those corrections.
And also at the bottom of Window and Workspaces in this drop-down menu, you can see that you can save your own workspace based on the layout that you currently have for your panels in Premiere.
So definitely worth exploring, but Workspaces is a really nice addition in just how much you can customize things to really fit your workflow.
All right guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like, subscribe to Adobe's channel, and if you want to dive deeper into filmmaking stuff in general, visual effects, lighting, and all that good stuff, then consider subscribing to my channel as well over at Kriscoart. Would love to have you there and join the community. But with that being said, share this video if you found it useful, and I will see you in the next one where we're talking about sound design. So super excited, don't want to miss that, and hopefully I'll see you there.